Hello, welcome to Scrap Time. My name is Christine, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make your own wrapping paper using some paint, stamps, and foil. This year I was going to buy my own wrapping paper, but I wanted something bright and fun, and I went shopping and I couldn't find anything. So I'm like, okay, I am going to paint my own wrapping paper. But I didn't want just brown paper. I've done brown paper for the last little while. I wanted something more colorful. So this is the paper I made, and I'm going to show you how I made it. And there's 3 steps. We have the painting, we have some stamping, and we have some foiling. So let's get started. So I started with brown paper, but if you have a roll of white paper, you could use that too, and then your colors may show up better. So when I was doing this previously, I used the whole table, whereas now I'm just doing a little bit here to show you. I'm just going to put those items down there just to hold my paper in place. Now it's best if you can use a heavy body paint, especially if you're doing it on brown paper, just because you'll get better coverage. If you're doing this on white paper, then you can use any paint you want because you have that nice brightness behind you. And all I did was I squeezed the paint directly onto my paper. I'm going to only put a little bit for now. And I used these little makeup sponges. And I just sort of painted little rectangles. I'm going to need more paint. Just random little rectangles all over my paper. And you want to do it until all your paint is gone. And they can go up, they can go sideways. Because don't forget, this is all going to be cut up. No one's actually going to see your paper as a whole. So then you go with another color. So I'm going to take some of this. And we're putting on a fairly thin coat, so it dries fairly quick. This pink is a little thicker because I put more of it down. And again, I like these bright colors. You can use whatever colors works with your Christmas gift giving this year. My goal was to have some bright, cheerful paper, so that's what I am getting at here. And you can see that even that small amount of paint I put down, you can go quite far with the coverage of it. Because you want to keep going until your sponge is empty, but I want to leave space for other colors. So maybe this time with the turquoise, I won't put as much down. Start with that and see where it gets us. Okay, then I'll add in a bit of red. Didn't put out enough sponges for myself, but so I'm going to use the pink one. Bit of red there. And you can sort of see the patchwork we are building up here. The red went far. So I guess some colors go further than others when you put down a blob. So I'm just going to now finish off with some white. I was going to put orange, but we're running out of space. So I like to add white in. And I find it just brightens it up. So I'll put a bit of white there and then see if... Because the red's still wet, I'm going to get some of it cross-contaminated, but that's okay. You can see just by adding in that bit of white, it just brightens up the paper. Now I will say that if you were doing your whole paper, it did take me a while to complete. The roll had quite a bit of paper on it, but in the end I thought it was really fun. I'm going to take off a bit of this red so we can move on to our next step. Okay, so our paint is pretty much on. You get the idea of the whole patchwork thing. And the next step we want to do is stamp. And so I was using this Art Foamy Christmas stamp. Now when I did it, because I was doing the whole thing, I used the Stamp Buddy that came with it, and I put black gesso on here, put it on, and then used it as a stamp pad. So it was really quick to stamp the tree on all the paper. But because I'm only doing a couple here for the example, I'm just going to use a foam makeup thing with my paint. Let me open up this paint. So I like to use black gesso just because you get a lot of coverage than regular paint. If you have heavy body, you could probably use that as well. And I'm going to put the paint on my stamp. Now of course you can use any stamp you want, and it doesn't have to be foam stamps, but if you're using acrylic paint, foam stamps work really great with the paint. You just have to remember afterwards to wash them before the paint dries. Okay, so then we just stamp our tree. Now I'm stamping over some wet paint here still, but you can still see the image. Oops. put one more. And you want to do them sort of random. You don't want to necessarily line them all up in a row because, as I said before, you're cutting up the paper anyway. Nobody's really seeing your pattern. So there we have our stamp tree. And then, because it's Christmas, you want a little bit of shine. You want to add a bit of foil. So what I did is I took these sheets. Let me get the package out for you. They're called Easy Cut Adhesive from Thermoweb. You have here Easy Cut Adhesive, and I was able to punch holes or little circles using a punch, which is straight out of the paper. And these are double-sided adhesive, so you peel it back and then stick it on. And again, just very random. I'll do a couple here just to show you, to get the idea. Put it on, then you peel back the paper. And then I use my foil, again from Thermoweb, and you just burnish it on. And just like that, you now have little foil dots onto your wrapping paper. So in the end, you end up with paper like this. And then once you wrap it, if you want to add more dots, you can easily add them on as well too. And then you make some tags, add a little decoration, and you're good to go. So I hope this inspires you to go out and make your own wrapping paper this holiday season. Thanks for watching. Be sure to give our video a thumbs up and subscribe to Scrap Time videos on YouTube. In the meantime, here are a few other videos you might be interested in watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.